everyone, welcome back to CBSE Learners. This is me Pooja M. K. Rao. You are watching me on my channel CBSE Learners. Today we are just in one segment of our revision series, and in our previous video I have given you about the adverbs. So I thought that you might be thinking that I have given adverb before explaining you the verb. So verb is actually all the action words, and when we explain a state of being or when we say some possession we are having, that is verb. Okay, so usually we know all these things, but why I explained you before adverb is we are having several verb forms which requires you to know the adverb also, even adjectives also. Okay, so today our topic is verb form, because about verb we all know that it's some action word, or it will show you some possession, or it will indicate you a state of being, isn't it? So let's start our lesson. Okay, so today we will learn about the verb form. So verb, the term verb has been derived from the Latin word verbum. Okay, this verbum means word. Okay, so it actually, verb actually denotes or an action, like when you do any work, any action, isn't it? Like he goes to school every day. I drink water. So this type of verb, go, drink, do, these all verbs, when it shows you some action you are doing, these are known as verb, and it is indicating you some action. Now once again we can say that it denotes, the word verb denotes some state of being, isn't it? So it also denotes, it also denotes the state of being. Okay, so when we use the be words are is, am, are, was, these are all be words. Okay, so when we say that Sita is one of the studious girl in her class. So it is showing the state of whom? State of Sita, that she is one of the studious girl in her class. Okay, it was me. This all example shows the verb acting as a state of being. Okay, so was, is, are, these all indicates the state of being. Now when we have some possession, when we possess something, then also we use verb. How we use? Like I have a book, she has a car, she has a beautiful dress. These have, has, had, these all words, these are all verb, and they indicates what? They indicates possession. Okay, now let's see the third characteristics of verb. The third characteristics is it indicates some possession. Okay, possession. For example, I have a car. Number B, she has a beautiful dress, etc. Okay, so when you use this words like have, has, had, you are using the verb as to show possession, that you are possessing something. So, and it is clear that when you use verb, not only these are action words, you use verb to show your state of being and also to show some possession. Okay, so I hope about the verb and its characteristics are clear to you. Now we will go to the verb forms, our main target, verb forms. Okay, we will learn about the verb forms. Okay, so I have a separate video on auxiliary verbs. So first let me make the chart, okay, of the verb forms. Now the main thing will be verb forms, okay, and further it is divided into main verb and auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb. Okay, now these auxiliary verbs are also known as helping verbs. Actually, they help the helping verbs. They actually help the main verb to make sense in a sentence. Okay, now this is the main verb. Okay, now main verb is further divided into finite verb and non-finite verb. Okay, finite verb and non-finite verb. Okay, now these finite verb are once again classified into three parts. Number one is two parts, transitive verb. Finite verb is further divided into two parts, that is transitive verb and the other is intransitive verb. Okay, transitive verb and intransitive verb. Okay, and non-finite verb is further divided into three parts. Number one is gerund, participles and infinities. Now auxiliary verbs. So I have a separate video on all the auxiliary verbs and when to use them. Auxiliary verbs are also known as modals. So auxiliary verb is further divided into primary auxiliaries, modal auxiliaries or semi-modal. Semi-modals. Okay. So primary auxiliaries are be. Now what are be words? Be words are is, am, are. Okay, is, am, are, was, were. So these are all be words. Now next is do. One more primary auxiliary is do. Now do will have do, does, did. Okay. Now the third one is the have. Okay, have is have, has, had. Now what are the modals? Modals are shall, should, can, could. Okay, I think I should write here better. Okay, because down it might be not visible. So modals are shall, should, can, could, may, might, okay, ought to, will, would. These are all modals. What are semi-modals? Three semi-modals are there. Need to, dare to, used to. Okay, need to, dare to, used to. Okay, so this is the chart for the types of verb form, and on the other side, on the other hand, we can classify verb form into other two types. Those are irregular and regular. So first we will see this main chart which is having main verb and auxiliary verb. So on auxiliary verb I am having separate video, and now today we will learn about the finite verbs, non-finite verbs and its part, transitive verb, intransitive verb gerund, infinitives and participles. Okay, so we will learn about this. And auxiliary verb, I am having separate video. I will give the link in the description box. Okay, now let's see the main verb. So they possess, main verb will be, they will possess any possession. They will have a state of being, and main verbs will do some action. Okay, main verbs, not, they will not possess any possession. They will mainly do some action, main verbs. Okay, like go, eat, sleep, these all. Okay, so main verbs, first one is finite verbs. Finite verbs. Okay, so this will show you some action. Okay, so these verbs denotes some action. Okay, for example, eat, drink, sleep, etc. Okay, next comes the types of finite verbs. Number one is transitive verb. Transitive verb. Now what is this transitive verb? So to make a proper sentence, we need a verb. Actually, verb is also known as the heart of a sentence. Okay, because it is the action word, or sometimes it shows you the possession, sometimes it shows you the state of being. Now, in a sentence, when the action goes from the subject to the object, when the action transfers from the subject to object, it is known as transitive verb. Okay, so in a sentence, when the action done is transferred from the subject to the object, it is known as transitive verb. Okay, when in a sentence, when the action, what the action you are doing is transferring from the subject to the object, you are having one object, okay, to do, that is known as transitive verb. Okay, it has, in case of transitive verbs, it is having object. For example, take she sings a song. Okay, she sings a song. What she is singing? She is singing a song. And you can, when you will learn in my upcoming videos, I will teach you this active voice and passive voice. When you need to convert this active voice to passive voice, if it is having transitive verb, then only you can convert it into passive voice. Okay, so if it is not having transitive verb, if it is having intransitive verb, that means if it is not having object, you cannot convert it into passive. Okay, so it is very important to have a transitive verb in a sentence. Like, for example, she sings a song. Okay, let me rub this one. For example, she sings a song. He goes to school. In these examples, you can see that sings, goes, these are acting as a verb. And this, in both the sentences, you can see that there is an object, isn't it? She is singing a song, he is going to school, isn't it? So, these are having some object. Okay. Now, what is intransitive verb? Now we will learn about the intransitive verb. Okay. So, in case of intransitive verb, you don't have object. It lacks object. It lacks object. Okay. When the action done is not passed to the when the action is not passed to the, from the subject to the object, when the action done is not passed from the subject to the object, it is known as intransitive verb. It is known as intransitive verb. Okay. For example, I go, she sleeps, he eats. Okay. So these are not having any object. Okay. But these are making sense, that I go, she sleeps, he eats. So it is having verb, but it is having subject, but it is lacking object. Okay. So these are called as intransitive verb. Okay. So I hope the transitive verb and intransitive verb is clear to you. Next comes our non-finite verbs. Now what are these non-finite verbs? Okay. Let me explain you the non-finite verbs. Non-finite verbs. Actually, these verbs are mostly used in clauses, okay, in case of subordinate clauses. These verbs doesn't show any action, okay. These verbs these verbs don't show any action. Instead, they act as a noun or an adjective or an adverb. Okay. For example, playing is fun. Okay. So see this example, or you can say playing is fun. Okay. So in this example, playing, see, playing is actually an action, isn't it? It is an action. But here, playing is, we are using it as a noun instead of using it as a verb. So though it is a verb in case of non-finite verbs, though it is a verb, it will not show you any action. It will act either as a noun or an adjective or as an adverb. Okay. So let's see further the types of non-finite verbs. Number one is gerund. Okay. What are gerund? We need to know. Okay. Gerund. These are all ing words. Okay. So these are the ing words which acts as a noun. So for example, I have given you the first example. Jumping is, or you can say jumping is fun, or you can say swimming is fun. Okay. Okay. So for example, swimming is fun. Okay. So in this sentence, swimming is an activity, we know. But here it is used as a noun instead of verb. Okay. So this is an example of gerund. Okay. When the verb, though they are verb, they act as a noun, or they act as a noun. They act as a noun. Okay. In the gerund. Okay. So gerunds, although they are verb, they act as a noun in the sentence. For example, let me take the second example. She has a very unique way of explaining. Okay. So in this sentence, the word explaining, though it is a verb, this is an action. Explanation, giving explanation is an action, but here it is not used as an action. Here it is, we are using as a noun. Okay. So the ing words, which though they are verb, when they act as a noun in the sentence, is known as gerunds. Okay. Next we will go further to the infinitives. Now what are the infinities? Okay, so we usually know that to means the verb with to, the base verb with to, isn't it? So infinitives. Infinitives. These are the base verbs with to, and these act as a noun, an adjective, or as an adverb in a sentence. Okay, for example, I love to eat. Or you can say I love to do anything. Okay, so here you can see I love to eat. We are using the word to, and here it is I love to do what? I love to eat. Okay, next, my father went, or you can say has gone to the store to buy groceries. Okay, so here you see to, buy, to it. Here it is acting as a noun. Here it is acting, in second sentence it is acting as a to do what? Means to why. Why your father gone? My father has gone to the store to buy grocery. This is acting as an adverb. Adverb of reason, isn't it? So we can say that when the verb acts as noun or adverb or as an adjective. Now I will give you one more example. Raghu wants a book to read. To do what? To read. Okay. So here the word to, he wants a book to read. That means the word read is related with the book. It is describing the book. He needs a book to read. So it is here acting as an adjective. Okay. So these words, whenever they act as an adjective, whenever they work as an adverb, whenever they work as a noun, we call them infinitives. Okay. Now next comes the participles. Okay. So we'll explain the participles. Now what are participles? Participles. So participles can be of two types. One is the present participle, the other is the past participle. Can be of two types. Okay. One is present participle, which is ing word, that the verb will have ing with them, and the other is past participle. Okay. Now past participles, like it will end with ed, d, t, en or n. Okay. Like sailed, past participles will be sailed, blown, flown, fallen, drunk, and this. Okay. So these are the past participle. Now what is their function? Actually they act, though they are verb, they act as an adjective. As an adjective to describe the noun in a sentence. Okay. So they act as an adjective. No, it acts as an adjective in a sentence. Okay. Now let's see the examples. Okay. So examples will be the dancing parrots entertained the crowd. Okay, this is the first example. Here see the dancing parrots. What parrots? The dancing parrots. Here, though dancing is a verb, we are using as an adjective to describe the parrots. The dancing parrots entertain the crowd. Okay. Next one, let me give you one more example. Don't waste your time by staring at the closed door. What door? Closed door. It is describing the door, that the door is closed. Okay. Next, one more example I would like to give. My father repaired the broken window. Okay, so here see the broken window. What type of window? A broken window. So when the participles, though they are participle, either it can be present participle or past participle, when they act as an adjective in a sentence, they are known as participles. Okay, participles. Okay, clear? So I think these verb forms are clear to you. In my next video, I will give you about the regular verbs and irregular verbs. So I hope you like this video. If you like this video, just hit the like button and share with your friends if you think it is useful for you. And thanks for staying tuned with us.